Welcome to Module 2, The Land of Literature. This module will prepare you to explore the wide world of research and literature so you can make better decisions for your programs and organizations. This is called data-based decision-making. You will learn the types of data, what to look for in a good research article, key tips for examining research, and some basic information about analyzing data. You will get comfortable with reading research articles and evaluating what is high-quality research and what is not. While conducting a community assessment, public health and behavioral health practitioners typically research a problem or conduct a formal literature review. Before beginning the process of a community assessment, you need to understand the different types of studies and key things to examine, such as credibility of the research and its relevance to the issue. This requires a basic understanding of terms and even parts of a typical research article. When reading these articles, you will need to think critically and determine if the conclusions drawn are accurate or if they may be explained by outside factors. You will work through some critical steps to examine the research in order to build your data citizen skills. As a data citizen, there are 5 steps you can take to understand a research article. Step 1. Determine if the data and research methods are quantitative, numbers, or qualitative, words. Step 2. Determine if the authors collected the data themselves or used existing data. Step 3. Examine the evidence. Step 4. Use the abstract. Step 5. Look at the method, results, and discussion sections. The first step is to determine if the research uses quantitative or qualitative data. But what are these two types of data, and what do they look like? Simply put, quantitative data contains numbers. You will often see quantitative data collected as a score on a survey, assessment, or screener tool. In contrast, qualitative data does not have a numerical value. Qualitative data can be used to explore an idea or to learn more from program participants about a problem that is difficult to capture using quantitative data. Qualitative data is often recorded as text and words and can be collected during observations, interviews, or focus groups. To review, quantitative data can be measured and expressed with numbers. The types of data used are numbers and statistics. You can get quantitative data from surveys, tests, assessments, measurements, observations, and interviews. Examples of quantitative data might include weight, the number of licensed providers in an area, or the percentage of young people who have a trusted adult to talk to. Qualitative data, on the other hand, consist of descriptive information that cannot be expressed as a number. Qualitative data is often text-based and may include images, behaviors, or descriptions. You can get qualitative data from interviews, focus groups, written documents, observations, case studies, records, or open-ended survey questions. Examples of qualitative data include observations of behaviors, such as an individual's selection of a helmet type, their reason for not wearing a helmet, or their preferences for receiving health information. After determining whether the data in the research article is quantitative or qualitative, you will want to find out if it is primary or secondary data. That is, if the authors collected data themselves specifically for the study, or if an existing dataset was used. Data is classified as primary or secondary. You are using primary data when you analyze data for its original intention. With secondary data, you are using the data for a different purpose than its original intention. For example, if you collect survey data on youth risk and protective factors and plan to examine the relationship to substance use, you then analyze the data for that purpose. This is primary data. If another researcher obtains your data from the risk and protective factor survey, but analyzes the data to predict academic success in college, a different purpose than what the data was originally collected for, then it would be considered secondary data. Let's take a look at some of the benefits and challenges of each type of data. Primary data. The benefits of primary data collection include data collected is specific to the study, collection methods can be controlled, and collected data is often considered more trustworthy. Conversely, Primary data collection has challenges, such as the expertise needed to develop valid data collection tools or to analyze the data, the time it takes to develop collection instruments, the time it takes to collect, analyze, and interpret the data, and limits around access to participants. Secondary data. Secondary data benefits include having access to large data sets, saving time and money since the data has already been collected and analyzed, and avoiding challenges due to lack of expertise, time, or access to participants. Challenges with secondary data include the data can be considered less reliable than primary data, the data collected may not fully answer the research question or questions, analysis may require advanced statistical techniques, and it can be difficult to determine how the data was collected. Step 3 of our process is to examine the evidence presented in the research article. Social scientists often conduct what is called human subjects research. When you obtain, use, study, or analyze data from a living person, you are conducting human subjects research. Because public and behavioral health practitioners deal with humans, there are many outside factors that you can't control. Controlling all conditions in a study is very difficult and, therefore, may limit your ability to conclude that a variable, such as receiving a substance use intervention, resulted in reduced substance use rates. Outside factors that relate to substance use might include previous substance use, family history of addiction, stress or mental illness, other health conditions, current or former experiences with violence, instability in employment, housing, or relationships, etc. This chart classifies different methods used in research based on the strength of the evidence from the highest level with multiple randomized control trials to a level 7 that focuses on an expert opinion. Ultimately, you want to strive for the highest level of evidence possible. Often in public and behavioral health, however, the highest level of evidence may be a level 3. As this cartoon shows, performing level 1 randomized control trials may not always be possible or ethical. Evidence-based registries, or guides, can assist with selecting effective interventions. Registries have subject matter experts review the literature, examine the level of evidence, and provide a ranking or score based on effectiveness. So where do you start if you are reviewing a research article yourself? First, try looking at the article's abstract. The abstract summarizes the purpose, design, results, and conclusions of the study. You can use the abstract to quickly review the overall content of the paper. The abstract will usually indicate if the article is qualitative or quantitative. If you do not see the method listed in the abstract, look for the method or methodology section of the article. This section will provide a detailed description of the methods used in the research study. Here are some tips to identify each type of study. When a study used quantitative methods, you will see some of the following keywords: statistical significance, hypothesis, survey, or control. When an article mentions a large number of participants, typically quantitative methods are used. Keywords such as explore, interviews, focus groups, or grounded theory can be clues that the study used qualitative methods. Smaller numbers of participants may also be a clue that qualitative methods were used. Often in the social sciences, public health, and the education world, researchers employ more than one method for a well-rounded study. There are compelling arguments for the view that mixed methods, i.e. the integration of both quantitative and qualitative data and analytical techniques, are essential for solving complex problems that involve policy, vulnerable groups, and research methods that are tailored and culturally appropriate. In these types of studies, you'll find keywords such as data triangulation, mixed method, mixed methodology, multi-method, integrating methods, qualitative, and quantitative. As your skills as a data citizen grow, you may need to go beyond the abstract of an article to find the information you need. The method and results sections are next in line to help you. Beyond the abstract, the methods section often has clues as to what type of data the researchers collected and how they collected it. You then have what you need to determine the level of evidence in most cases. If not, you can also examine the next parts of a research article, the results and discussion sections.